What is up? My name is Colby Sharp. I am a 5th grade teacher in Parma, Michigan. My friend Debbie asked me to answer 3 questions for her blog. I asked her if I could make a video. She said yes. So let's go. The first thing I'm supposed to do is to share a picture of something in my office. I'm actually going to show you the back wall where I keep a lot of my children's literature art and tell you a little bit about that. Okay, so this is where, if you're watching in my YouTube videos, I often sit in front of this wall. So I'm going to walk you through what we have here, piece by piece. This is a village sign. I teach in the village of Parma. It's a very important place to me. It is where I'm from, where I grew up. My mom bought me this plaque wood board thingy, so I love it so. This is the Nerdy Book Club banner that the one and only Deborah Friedman created. I love it. It is so nerdy. Next to the Deborah Friedman banner is a piece of Deborah Friedman art from when she was working on the book Shy. It is just one of the most breathtaking things I've ever seen in my life. My friend Margie Culver got it framed for us. The story behind this is one of my students fell madly in love with Shy, and when we Skyped with Deborah, this was the spread that he went on and on about how much he loved it and how he thought it was the most distinguished piece. And so she sent us a picture, and it's beautiful, and Deborah Friedman's hands made this, and I love it. And every time I see it, I think of that student, and I think of how much he fell in love with reading in my class, and it just makes me think, each time we give a kid a book, or a kid starts a new book, or they have an opportunity to read a new book, it might be the chance for them to fall madly in love with reading. This beautiful piece here is from the amazing and talented Larry Day. He made it for me. He also donated some pieces to the Nerd Camp art raffle. It just makes me smile and think about Nerd Camp. This is something that a student made for me, and I love it. And it sits here because it makes me smile. This is a picture of me and my student Heidi at Nerd Camp. Heidi got a bunch of books sent to her from people all over the country because she was going through a hard time. And she had to thank everyone at Nerd Camp. And this picture just makes me feel really lucky to be part of such an amazing team and such an amazing community online. High five, everyone. Bob Shea, I think he's pretty great. He drew this when he was at school. He likes to draw things based on jelly bean shapes, and the kids love it. And I love it. It's just fun. And here is Jenny Holm poster that I bought from her Baby Mouse store online. She signed it when she came to my school. It says, "You rock for Mr. Sharp." It's just so awesome. This is a cool poster that my friend Margie Culver gave us. It's signed by both Adam Rex and Neil Gaiman. She gave it to my class last year when Adam Rex was visiting. Up next, we have this awesome picture by Bob Shea, ballet cat, and this cool shark. Hey, Parma Elementary, I had a blast. It's Bob Shea, he's probably just saying that, but it's nice of him to say. I love this piece. This is by Caldecott Honor winner, Team 81 friend, the one and only Lauren Castillo. This is the piece of art that she created for her session with kids at Nerd Camp with sponges and paint. It's just really awesome. I know she's working on a book with Hedgehog. It just makes me so happy. So she used this during Nerd Camp, and then the kids got to create, and my daughters were in her class. Sorry about the glare. And my daughter Daria created this one, and my daughter AJ created this one, and I love having them hang here together. Up above, we have this amazing piece of art from Matthew Holm. We featured Travis Yonker and I. Man, that glare is killing me. Travis Yonker and I featured Sunny Side Up on the first season of The Yarn, and they sent us each one of these really cool pictures that Matt drew, and then they took the logo from The Yarn. I love it. It's cool. A piece from my friend Dave Pilkey, a piece from one of my students representing the village. Let's see if I don't want to fall. I'm standing on the heater. This was fun. It came with a copy of Be a Friend and a mailing. And from Bob Shea. We're very Bob Shea heavy in here. One with this, Miss Haney gave us all this at the beginning of the year, just encouraging us to lean in and to be there for our students. And when they need us to slow down, not try to go on to the next thing, but to lean in and listen and try to help them become the awesome people that we know they're going to be. The second question from Debbie is, what advice do you have for young writers or illustrators? I think you need to copy the people that you love. Like, not like copy like Trace or copy their words word for word, but take the people that you love, whether it's Dave Pilkey, K.D. Camillo, Tracy Baptiste, Linda Sue Park, whatever writing or illustrations you love, and like use it as a model and try to do something very similar. Start with that. You'll find your own style eventually, but start by emulating the people that you love. Think about LeBron James. He grew up wanting to be like Michael Jordan, and he tried to play like Michael Jordan. And now that he has figured out his own game and who he is as a basketball player, he plays very differently from Michael Jordan. But the things that he learned as a young basketball player to try to be like Michael Jordan allowed him to develop the skills necessary to where he was ready to figure out who he was as a basketball player. He was able to develop his own personal game, but he started by copying someone else. My son, Breslin, is a 5th grader in my class, and he fell in love with Dave Pilkey's work a long time ago. And he fell in love with Captain Underpants. He fell in love with Ricky Ricotta. He has since fallen in love with Dogman. And he does that. He created a character from working on that, working closely with Dave's work. He calls Flatboy. And here's just a cover, a working cover for Flatboy. And he has created this Flatboy and Pencil Pal and all of these things. And anyone who reads much Flatboy can see that in a lot of this work comes from what he's been trying to learn and take from Dave Pilkey. And the longer he works on it and the more he refines his own skill, it becomes more of his own and less of Dave's. So definitely copy, steal, borrow, do what great people are doing, people that you look up to. Do what they're doing, practice, 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 and eventually you'll find your way and find your own voice and your own style. Debbie's third and final question, what am I excited about right now? And the more I think about this question, I think my answer has to be independent bookstores. I know for a while independent bookstores were really struggling, and most people were buying their books from places like Barnes & Noble, and if they're buying them online, they were buying them from places like Amazon. But it feels like readers want to have independent bookstores in their communities, and it feels like we are starting to flock to them and to use a lot of our book buying money and book buying power. It's power that we have with our money, and we're using it to support independent bookstores. I was recently in Greenville and I got to visit Fiction Addiction. I did an event at BookBug. Yeah, when I'm filming this, like just this past weekend, I was at Sterling Books and Brew in Albion, Michigan, and just seeing these bookstores and seeing the people who own them and seeing their passion for their communities and wanting to support their communities and support the kids in their communities and wanting to support the schools in their communities and wanting to just be a place for the community to come together around stories, around books, around creating and writing and making things. It just makes me so excited. So I feel like independent bookstores are just being revitalized and crushing it and doing amazing, amazing things. So please, 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 if you have books to purchase, please consider using some of those your funds to buy them from independent bookstores, because the more independent bookstores we have, the better our world will be, because they'll be able to get great books into the hands of readers. They'll be able to make sure that kids have access to books. These independent bookstores are supporting schools. Every time I'm at BookBug, they ask me if I want to round up my purchase to the next dollar, and that extra money goes to a school that they have designated for a month to provide more books for those kids. How awesome is that? I think the last time I bought some books, I rounded it up like $10. I just wanted to support that community and wanted my dollars to go where they would be used wisely and powerfully and have a huge impact. I think their place in the community is as strong and as powerful as ever. Debbie, thank you so much for having me on your blog. I appreciate it. I love the work that you do. Keep making awesome books for kids. Have a wonderful day, friends, and happy, happy reading.